What's going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Bring the Juice. Guys, we have already done Derek's final mock draft here before the 2025 NFL Draft is officially underway on Thursday. So, with that being said, I also wanted to drop my final mock draft here for the Indianapolis Colts. And we were talking off air. Derek got the fortune of having Tyler Warren available here at pick 14. I was not afforded that luxury. So when it comes to pick 14 here, first off, Shedeur Sanders is there in this scenario. I know some people have talked about that. I'm not going to go that route. I know some people would go that route. Jalen Walker's here. Kelvin Banks, the offensive tackle. Matthew Golden. Obviously, Colston Loveland's there. A couple other guys here that could be in consideration. But Derek, I'm not going to think it. I'm not going to overthink it there. I'm going absolutely tight end there, Colston Loveland.
Yeah, I mean, get him before he gets stolen. Get that tight end that you know can be the future.
Fantastic. Okay, so now moving on to round number 2, pick number 45 for the Indianapolis Colts here, Derek. So I'm eyeing a couple different guys here when it comes to that. I mean, you got Josh Connerly Jr. here, who would make some sense for the Indianapolis Colts. He's got that athleticism. He's got the body control. I don't really see – I'll just pull up, see if there's any linebackers here. Not really. I mean, in this one, Carson Schlesinger obviously just went before you, so that would have been my pick. Yeah, exactly. So I think for this sake, Derek, you talked about the offensive line. I'm going to go, in my opinion, the best offensive lineman here on the board and go Josh Connerly Jr. here. I know he's an offensive tackle here, Derek, but I'm going to go him because I think that makes a lot of sense here because offensive line, specifically tackle, I think is so hard to find. So I'm just going to go that and just let it play out as it is. What are your thoughts? I I mean, I think there's no doubt they're probably moving on from Braden here. I think I took it based off of BPA here when it comes to that, and I think you let them figure it out, right? I think you let them compete this year. I don't know if Connerly can move down to guard here, but I think certainly Gonsalves can. So even if it is Gonsalves at right guard, and you let them battle it out for right tackle next year. I don't know what you're going to do exactly, but I just kind of went BPA there in that situation.
Hey, I mean, there could be a lot of different ways to approach that offensive line pick, but I mean, it definitely is a good one though.
Awesome. Okay, so let's move on now. Let's look at some defensive guys here. There you go. So linebacker is a need. There's some other guys that I'm really tempted to take here. I mean, like Barrett Carter out of Clemson. Not like super athletic here, in comparison to some other guys, but he's definitely got some athletic ability, Derek, that you're looking at here.
I feel, in my opinion, Cody, I feel much higher on Demetrius Knight than that.
Yeah.
I know it's a little further down than what it looks like, but I feel like Knight is such a smarter player, especially in coverage. I feel like he's higher. He should be higher than some of these other linebackers. So
yeah, I was going to say I just wanted to take a look at Carter there, but yeah, Demetrius Knight, especially because his prowess in coverage, I think that's exactly what you need at linebacker for sure, no doubt about that. Okay, so here we go, round number 4 now here, Derek, for the Indianapolis Colts. I'm going to go. Oh man, so this is tough. It's Deion Walker here out of Kentucky, who I know you
a bunch of defensive linemen right here.
Exactly. You got
Jack a lot of different ways on this.
I know there's your guy, Jack Sawyer there. But, Derek, I'm actually going to go – I think I'm going to go C.J. West.
I figured you would. Yep.
Yeah,
and,
he's
Colts fans will love that one.
Yeah, he's athletic as can be and makes some sense there.
He'd be a great backup defensive tackle for you. He'd be a great piece.
Yeah. So, man, look at all these defensive linemen.
It's a lot of defensive players. So, who do you have so far? Let me just recap that real quick. My picks right next to your draft results to your left.
Yeah, so my guys here, Colston Loveland, Josh Connerly, Demetrius Knight, and C.J. West here.
Okay.
So, So I've addressed, multiple positions of need here, and
Yep.
obviously now on day 3, there's a lot of options you can go here for the Indianapolis Colts. Like I said, there's a ton of guys here, and even Derek, like a guy like Garrett Dillinger here, that might make some sense as well for the Indianapolis Colts. If you're talking about how maybe you view more Connerly as an offensive tackle. Maybe you bring another guy in here for quality depth. I'm actually going to go that route here. I'm going to double dip. I know you said you might be tempted to do that there, but I'm going to go Garrett Dellinger there for Indy.
Don't hate it.
So he obviously very trenches focused here outside of the first round. So very front 7 for sure. Okay. Now let's continue on. I feel like I need to be looking at a running back here, Derek, around this time.
Are there any left that you like?
I'm going to go Taj Brooks here.
Okay. I've seen some people mention Taj Brooks, so that doesn't surprise me.
Cool. All right, going back here. All right, so I have my 7th round pick here, which will be my last one. I mean, Derek, I think you can kind of just throw a shot in the dark here. I'm just going to see who is the most athletic guy. I'm just going to kind of go from there, to be honest with you.
Get them traits,
Yeah.
Oh, Tyrion Dawkins. I've seen that one.
All right. Well, you know what? Why not? Take the shot.
They need the help on the interior of the defensive line for sure. So
let's say that they said it's a gamble, so why not add him and West there? Why not, dude? Why not? So it didn't necessarily fall the way I wanted it to all the time, Derek, but I obviously went very, very trenches heavy here for the Colts here. Colston Loveland was really the only guy. Him and Taj Brooks were the only you would say front 7 guys here, which is crazy, because you got either offensive line, defensive line, or linebacker, and then tight end and running back. So I would have probably liked to add a safety somewhere or maybe some sort of DB at some point. That would be my only thing I'd want to potentially add here if I could do it over. But again, this is kind of how the board fell for me. And I think the Connerly one, that was for me a BPA, it was a need of some sort, whether you think it was, however you view Gonsalves. In this instance, I'm betting the Colts are viewing him as a guard, but I don't know. Could be either way. But regardless of that, definitely did also add, another guy there in Garrett Dillinger a little bit later in the draft in round 5. So, I mean, now you've got some really quality depth, Derek, all around. And at the worst, Derek, Connerly's, they're your swing tackle for this year. I mean, him or Gonsalves. They're your swing tackle for this year. Whoever you feel like can go down and play guard, I'm fine with, dude. I'm totally fine with it. Bet on the traits. Bet on, your offensive line coach, Tony Sperano, to be able to just develop these guys and get them in the right positions to make the best offensive line possible. So, you lost 2 interior offensive linemen, and now I'm hopefully restacking the cupboard a little bit with some offensive linemen here.
Yeah, I mean, you filled a lot of holes there. You got the tight end. You addressed the trenches both on the defensive interior and on the offensive line as well. Yeah, Josh Connerly is a great example. It could be a swing tackle for you. You know how it is. You can never have too many guys on the offensive line that are capable of doing what they can, especially given Braden Smith's injury history. And, being able to get both interior and outside offensive line help, very pivotal. This team definitely needs it. And, you got a running back in Taj Brooks that has a decent skill set. And then Demetrius Knight, I really like. It's so strange to me, Cody, because Demetrius Knight in some people's boards, he's like early second. Then there's some people, if you ask these mock draft sites, a lot of them, they'll have him in late 3rd or early 4th. It's so all over the place when it comes to Demetrius Knight. I think a lot of people go against Demetrius Knight because he's older. He's 25, if I'm not mistaken. So he'll be 25 this year. So he's definitely older than most other guys that come into the league. But again, with that comes experience and comes knowledge of an understanding of the position. So overall, it may not be a lot of names that people would necessarily love in those particular areas, but I think in all honesty, it does actually come together pretty well.
Well, my thought with Demetrius Knight also, Derek, was he's going to be ready to go from day one, right? Which we've talked about. Like, you need a guy that's going to be in there and going to slot right in with Zaire Franklin. Like, and yeah, he's a little bit older, but also he's going to be ready to go a lot more than if you draft a 20-year-old kid, I think. So that's kind of my rationale there as well. If you can get him in the third round, even, I mean, if you can get a good linebacker player for the next 5 to 7 years, if not more than that, you won't care about the age. You really won't. So that's just kind of how it is for me. So, but yeah, I think also, Derek, with the defensive line, I think Ballard really learned his lesson, hopefully, the last couple of years. I mean, we all know what happened in 2022 when he failed to properly address left tackle, also right guard at that point, that year. And we all obviously know what's happened the last 2 years whenever Grove or Buck haven't been in there. It's been an absolute disaster. So I think he's really set here in the draft to make sure that he has quality depth in the trenches, like on both sides of the ball. That's why I went so defensive line heavy in the interior, because you really, really need it. And you lost a couple guys on your defensive line and offensive line that I think makes some sense here to try to restack the cupboard here with some young guys that definitely have some upside to be, potentially one guy a starter and, another guy a quality depth piece there that you definitely need to add.
Yeah, 100%. Again, you added some good depth pieces in areas that really needed it coming up.
All right. Well, guys, that'll do it for this one. Let us know your thoughts here on both of our mock drafts. Let me know your guys' thoughts on mine. But guys, that'll do it for this one. Like we said already, we're going to be doing all 3 days of the NFL draft. So hopefully you guys will come right along, hang out with us for the 3 days of that draft. We'll be covering everything for the Indianapolis Colts. So you guys definitely don't want to miss that. But that'll do it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We greatly appreciate it. And as always, guys, go Colts.